So, for the viewers who are tuning in, let me let you know a little bit about Rachel. She was born and raised in Southern California in the Barrio, about an hour south of LA. She was placed in academically gifted school programs from early age, competing in fields ranging from math, engineering, and science to mock trial to journalism. Despite her academic placement, Rachel always felt happiest when performing. She began competitive cheerleading in middle school and went on to win four national titles in high school. In college, she further focused on arts, earning a BA in cultural studies with English as a minor from UCLA. As an adult, she founded her own personal wardrobe styling business, Subliminal Style, through which she finally became exposed to the world of film and commercials. While working as a wardrobe stylist for a short film based in Hollywood, she was invited to attend a session of Gale Hansen's The Acting Class, which she attends religiously every Wednesday night since then. And then, of course, the horrible COVID shut down almost immediately in
Uh,
2020, 2019. So subsequently, she left LA and has managed to gain significant acting traction in KC. Commercially, she has worked with such brands as US Bank, John Deere, Galiprant, Huggies, and Hallmark. And then it says she has both principal and supporting roles in several award winning films and recent feature length titled SYRO, I think that is, directed by
yeah.
Keenan Caps and, and Nick Givechi, just screened at the Marina Del Rey Film Festival in LA. And then also it says she just completed her first SAG supporting role in a feature film, Rise and Shine, from Laura Summers and Just Like You film. She is currently attached as an actress in upcoming films Over Time by Baron Michael Redman and Setting Sun by Samuel Taddy. And then it says she's working on a directorial debut with the short film Things We Say in post production and a feature film Living the Dream slated to shoot this fall. And one thing that we left out is that she also appeared in Vengeful, the KC
Yes.
filmed movie. Yeah, with Bobby J or Bobby Coleman, if you want to call him that. But yeah, you've done a
Go on,
lot.
Tubi.
Yeah, yeah, you're doing a lot, man. So yeah, thanks again. And so, how are you doing? And tell us like what brought you here
Oh, here as in Kansas City or here as in
in
this
entertainment.
podcast?
Yeah, what brought you to Welcome to Skrilltown Talk? How did it all start? How did Rachel figure
Oh,
out that she wanted to be an actress, a director?
okay, that's a good question. I was a really shy, like painfully shy child. Like
Hmm.
I I would be too afraid to like go up to the McDonald's counter and ask for extra ketchup, kind of scared of people shy.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
never thought, acting was something that I would do,
Hmm.
especially growing up in Southern California. I'd known a decent number of actors, and, a lot of them were like groundlings type, comedy actors, and
Right.
they're very outgoing and they're just super friendly. They're everyone's best friend. And it never seemed like it would be a good fit. So it
Mm.
never was on my radar. So I was doing wardrobe for a film out in LA. Harrison Reichman
Mhm.
gave me my first wardrobe gig out there and invited me to a little acting class called The Acting Class. It's run
Mhm.
by Gale Hansen, who, for people who know Dead Poet Society, the film,
Yeah.
he was Charlie in that film. He was the one who phones God and asks for
Oh,
girls to be let into the school.
yeah.
Um, so I'm like in this acting class thinking that I would go there to network, get some business cards, get some wardrobe jobs or something.
Hmm.
I think at that point I did have a commercial agent, but that to me that still wasn't acting.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm standing there and I'm doing this exercise across from Charlie from
Mm.
Dead Poets Society.
Mm-hmm.
It was just this weird feeling like someone was actually asking me to be fully present in my own life for the first time.
Right.
And to feel my own feelings, and it was so uncomfortable. Like if anyone's ever done Meisner technique with someone who knows what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
so uncomfortable. You feel so naked. But I also felt like super alive, you know.
Right.
So I went home and I was like, that was horrible. How can I do it again?
Ah, yeah, yeah. It's like I
So I just
liked it, but I
started
didn't like it,
going.
but I like it.
Yeah, and it's been probably one of the best things for me because that helped me get past a lot of my social anxiety and just become more in touch with myself as a person, and so as an artist also. And I don't know. Here we are. The
Yeah.
rest is history.
Right. So, and I see that, so you've been doing the acting class, and so how did that part and moving to Kansas City all come together?
Yeah, that was kind of a happy accident. When we moved here, we kind of moved here because the world was kind of ending and
Yeah.
it was so shut down in California. Like
Mm,
you could barely go out and take a walk without someone, yelling at you to get back inside because it wasn't safe, kind of a thing.
mm,
Um, which, maybe that was the right thing to do, but it just created this sense of like, we want to circle the wagons. We want to go, closer to family. And my dad was living in Kansas City.
mm.
And we were like, who knows how long we'll be able to travel, even state to state. So we came out here and had no idea there was a film industry. Probably around 2020 when things, like the end of 2020, 2021,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. When things started to let up a little bit, I started just going on the different Facebook groups in town looking for productions, and
Yeah.
came across AJ Productions was doing a film called The Unexpected.
Mm.
Um, Director Remy Aladeki, shout out. Um, and I just went out to be an extra, just a background extra in that. But through that film, I met Khalid and Corey, who run AGA, and they also met Santiago Vasquez, who's
Mm.
a phenomenal actor in town, and just started going to more of these things that were posted online, and got into the indie film community here
Yeah.
enough to like gain the confidence to get an agent here, and they've represented me. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know. It just
And
worked
that's
out. It
Moxie,
was a
right?
happy accident.
Yeah. You with Moxie Talent Agency, right?
I am. They're
Yeah.
wonderful. They're really, really wonderful.
Yeah.
Stacy is definitely a hustler for all of her talent.
Hmm.
She's very communicative, very proactive. I've been super happy with them.
Yeah. So coming from California, where everybody's an actor, a rapper, a singer, or something in the
All of the above.
entertainment, yeah, all of the above, and then from there to coming to little bitty old Kansas City to the bigger world, because a lot of people don't understand that Kansas City is big here, but it ain't big in LA, it ain't big in New York, or
Uh,
places like
we'll
that.
see how long that is.
Right, that could change, but I mean, I'm a realist. I've been all over the globe, and like I said, you start finding out. Like I remember a guy came to me and told me, like I told him what I did, and he was like, I didn't even realize they had entertainment in Kansas. That type of stuff. So with that
Yeah,
being
I mean,
said,
that's how I was before I moved here too, so I get it.
exactly. So in a market like LA, Southern California, coming to Kansas City, how like what was the change like, especially with you knowing that you wanted to act out here, and coming from that big huge market, like was it fast paced, slow paced, did it take a while? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think that coming here probably was one of the best things that could happen for me doing acting. It's just a different mindset here and a different community. And I haven't been all over, but one of my friends has said this is the nicest market you will ever be in. And I totally think that's possible.
Yeah.
As far as the indie community, I just think there's a different energy here. Everybody is very collaborative and very community oriented and supportive of each other.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of different overlap of like, you know, actors will work with a bunch of different filmmakers, and filmmakers will support each other in their various projects. And that wasn't something I necessarily saw a lot of in LA. And even the actors with each other, I feel like there's more of a community feeling and less of a spirit of competition all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone's been super supportive, and I've just been really pleasantly surprised at how open and willing to collaborate everybody has been.
Yeah. Well, you know, the reason I asked that question, I was looking for that answer that you just gave. The reason I asked that question, really, yeah, because I kind of, you know, like I said, being around and going places, you kind of see, and all you gotta do is pay attention. So, you know, going to the bigger cities, like we were saying, everybody's doing it. So a lot of people, some people don't take you serious because they just think you want to fit in. Versus come into a smaller city where people are dedicated a little bit more. It's not as normal as it would be. So, like you said, people are great to collaborate with you, you know, and they get that feel, and the community's smaller, and everybody is kind of dedicated, and they want to see everybody win. Yeah, you know, it
like
takes
the rising tide,
right? Yeah, it's like
all the ships, kind of a
yeah,
thing.
you don't want to.
You know what? Too, I feel like out there, like you said, everyone's doing it in LA, but not everybody is. But I feel like that story creates a lot of anxiety for people who are starting out, and so there's this feeling of like, if my first film doesn't go to Sundance, like I have failed. You know, so here I feel like people are much more free, and it's kind of more of a frontier mentality where we're just going to bootstrap up and we're going to make the movie. You know, it's going to be what it is, and it's going to be indie, and it's going to be cool, and it's going to be fun. You know,
right. And like you said, everybody wants to help each other because the main goal is to succeed. You know, it takes
and to bring more stuff here.
Right, absolutely. Because I tell you, it's been hard, you know, being in this industry and not being recognized for being here. You know, so hopefully that'll change, and we're looking forward to that. But going back to the movies that you've been in, some of the people that you've collaborated with, I know in the beginning, it looks like you started with kind of like what we were talking about off air about the short stories going into the feature, all the way up to the feature films. Like, so what made you finally be like, you know what, it's my time to start directing?
That's an interesting question. Well, let's see. I've worked on a couple films with a wonderful filmmaker in town, L. Tanner Smith. He's done a lot of indie titles, and he does it like he says on a Walmart budget, right? So he very much has that frontier mentality of we're gonna, you know, use what we have, do what we can, and make a film, you know. And so working with him very closely and seeing what's possible without a lot of resources was super inspiring. And he also is very collaborative. And on the feature film that he wrote for me, actually, he and his partner Kelly wrote a script for me. They wanted a lot of input, so I was able to dive into that script and do a lot of writing with them. And it kind of got my feet wet, and I don't know, gave me the bug to tell my own story in a way, and kind of gave me the confidence that, you know, I didn't necessarily need millions of dollars to do something interesting. And And there were plenty of people who also wanted to gain that experience and try something and collaborate that I could tap to, just experiment with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so what has been, and let me go back to your bio. All right. So we got Rise and Shine, Just Like You. We got Overtime, Setting Sun, Things We Say, Living the Dream, and then I'll throw in Vengeful. Um, what has been your most challenging role to learn?
Oh, um, I'll have to go with my first short, Things We Say. That was a monumental challenge, and I didn't know it was going to be.
Hmm.
Um, but I feel like that was my film school because I didn't go to film school, but
Right.
just doing that short, everything seemed to be like working against us the second day. Like we had scheduled the shoot like so far in advance, and
Hmm.
then the day came up and we were looking at the weather and it was going to be like thunderstorms all
Mm.
day. So we pushed the shoot to another day. That day comes around, and again, it's thunderstorms.
Right. Oh,
And
again?
yeah,
Oh.
and you know how the weather is here, like you can look at it the night before and it looks like it's going to be fine, and then you open your app in the morning and it's like end of times, right?
Hmm.
So that's what happened to us. It was the end of times the morning we were
Yeah.
supposed to shoot, but everybody was booked already, like all the sound people, the camera people, the location was booked. And
Hmm.
so we're like, you know what, the location guy was like, weather moves through here really fast, so we're like, we're just
Hmm.
gonna do it, we're gonna chance it and
Mm.
figure it out. um but we had to like pivot a lot that day.
Mm.
Yeah, I lost my mind at least once that day, which
Yeah.
the crew will testify to. um but we had to rewrite maybe like a third of the script to happen inside a barn instead of the side of the road because it was just too rainy.
Yeah.
We had to reshoot a scene because we tried to just shoot it all inside a car and it didn't work.
Hmm. That sounds very challenging. That's like,
Oh no,
yeah,
it
that's
was.
worse than my experience. I had my first music video. It started raining. We didn't even know. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Everything
no.
was outside, and so we had to pause for the calls and then wait a little bit until the rain passed. But now I kind of know what you're talking about when it comes to that. And like you said, when you have to move, I forgot the word that Tanya, because I had the interview with her last week, and she brought up this same thing where you can't really. I mean, anytime you have to change dates or something, you got to make sure that everybody's still available because sometimes they might have other things going on.
Yeah,
I forgot what she called that, but yeah, that's every. I mean, that's a possibility. Anytime you shoot, I would guess, and assume. So
absolutely. Even
yeah,
from the one day that we had to reschedule, we lost a bunch of people.
mm,
Um, and then with the weather, that we were shooting that at the end of summer or something,
hmm,
and like the next availability, I believe, I forget which person it was, if it was our DP Barry,
hmm,
but some key person like couldn't do it again until
hmm.
maybe a month later, and we were like, we might not have leaves on the trees then.
Right,
It's gonna
right. It
look
might
like
be
a
snow on the
totally
ground.
different world.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
man, we really just have to do it, we just have to figure it out. But
Hmm.
I think it made me think a lot more about locations. It made me think about who's on the crew, who can be nimble, who's and myself learning to be more nimble,
Hmm.
and less attached to a certain result. That was so valuable. It was so
Yeah.
valuable. I'm
Yeah.
glad I did it, even though it was so stressful. I'm glad we did it.
Right. Well, so I was telling Rachel that when I'm looking at her reels, I discovered that not only did we have the fact that we're in Kansas City in common, but one of her two of her movies I know people in. But one, Tam B was in the movie with her. And then when I was watching Vengeful, I noticed that she was in the movie, Rachel. So I was like, wow, this is crazy, but small world, Kansas City small. But going back to Vengeful, that was a powerful movie.
That
For
was such
those
a
who
great
haven't seen it, it's on Tubi right now. Tell us a little bit about the experience doing a film here. Has that been the last film that you've done recently, or was that a while?
No, I think I did. That was the last feature I did, I believe, was Running. Um, it's hard to keep track of them all because they all shoot and then they come out in a different order sometimes. But
Right,
I
right.
did a few shorts this spring as well.
Okay.
But anyway, Vengeful, such a cool experience. Like Chuck Brown and Bobby were super organized, super
Hmm.
professional. Um, they always communicated things well in advance, you know exactly what was happening. And just getting the locations that they did
Hmm.
really added a lot, I think, to the scenes that we did. There was, a scene there, not to give any spoilers, but there's a
Hmm.
scene where everyone's in this kind of deserted warehouse type of
Ah, yeah.
location, and it's a
Uh-huh.
really intense scene. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting there with my makeup on and everything, and I'm like, wow, like I feel like I'm here.
Like I'm really, yeah, I ain't gonna give away the movie either, but I know exactly which part you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
met some awesome actors on that too. One of the bad guys in Vengeful is going to be an
Mhm.
actor in my upcoming movie as well. So I'm super excited.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so collaboration is everything. Tell me a little bit about continuing education, continuing to get better at your craft as an actor or director. Like, how important is that?
I would say it depends on your definition of continuing education. Um,
So
I
what I
go
mean
ahead.
by that, I don't mean to cut you off, but what I mean to clarify it is that most people that I've interviewed, like for example, comedians, they say that they still go to other stand-ups and learn things, or they might
Mm,
go to writing classes, improv classes, and so forth.
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I mean by the continuing education part.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a saying, that if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, and that's kind of my approach with the acting class.
Hmm.
Um, their motto is that the classroom is like the MMA octagon.
Mm.
You don't go there to perform and show everybody how good you got. Is
Hmm.
the use of your connection, and the use of your skills connecting to other people, so that when you get on set, it's not a surprise and it's natural to you. So um, I feel like I'll always be in class just for that aspect of
Hmm.
going to the gym
Right,
for the
right.
acting.
So are you?
And
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and then for the rest of it, I just feel like if there are specific skills, I studied with Ronan Stunt Company for 7 months to kind of
Mhm.
learn more about physicality and fight scenes and stunts
Wow.
and falling down and guns and stuff, which was so awesome, just so
Oh
awesome. If you
man.
want to learn anything, check them out. They just got to.
Really?
Um, but so specific skills classes,
Hmm.
and then for me for storytelling, I've never taken like a creative writing class. Like they were always so gatekeepered when I
Yeah.
was at UCLA. I've taken one screenwriting class, I think.
Hmm.
But then to do more, like you had to be in the film program, or like to get to the creative writing class, like you had to apply to the creative writing class, and you had to like already be good at creative writing.
Right.
Um, so the workaround I've had is just studying the films that I love to watch and reading the books that I love to read and going back to them and reading it again with an eye towards like how how did they do that? Like,
Right.
what were they doing that made me so attracted to it? Yeah, so it's a combo, I guess.
Okay. Okay. So I got a
Formal
couple.
education and self-education.
Yeah, that always helps. That combination always helps. So I got a couple other questions. One would be, and and I don't know if you've experienced this already, but crying. Like, how hard or how easy is it to cry during the scene?
If you've done your work, you cannot stop it from happening. Like it in Vengeful, you know, there was a part where they were doing coverage, cross coverage of the whole thing, and I wasn't sure how much of it I was going to be seen in. So I was basically crying for 8 hours straight because I wasn't sure if they were going to see that or not.
Right.
And I was like, whatever, it's just an exercise
Right.
for myself to see if I can do it. But I think you never go in with necessarily the intention that I am going to cry. But if you know how to break your own heart or to break the heart of the person who you're working with and be empathetic enough to let that affect you, I cry a lot in acting class. Sometimes you kind of have to take it back a little bit because the scene doesn't necessarily need crying or the director doesn't want crying right then. But, a lot of actors can do this awesome thing where their eyes just well up, but they never spill over. It creates such an awesome tension. But yeah, it's not necessarily about trying to cry. It's about trying to tap into something that is painful or poignant or beautiful that then automatically moves you to tears, I think.
Yeah. I heard it's a skill. Like, everybody can't do it. That's why I always ask. Any actor that I interview, I always ask that question because you always get a different answer. It's like some's like, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Others is like, man, it's hard. I think about somebody passing away or my girlfriend, left my puppy, all that type of stuff. So so I always ask. And then I would have asked you. Go ahead.
It's interesting. I never thought I'd be able to do it. Never
Really?
thought I would be able to do it. Like as a child and young adult, like I don't think I hardly cried even when I was sad, really. But now I cry all the time.
Right. Get older and cry a little bit more. It
just changes you when you learn how. Yeah.
You put a Hallmark movie on it, you ain't got to worry about it. That's just me. It is what it is. I don't care what. It's always gonna happen. It might happen in the beginning of the movie, might happen in the end, but it's gonna happen. So
I know. I mean, the strangest things too. Sometimes, like I'll be watching like Olympic curling or something, and they're just so happy. I'm like, oh my god, it's beautiful.
Oh my god, yeah. We just got to keep the Kleenex box ready for you. That's funny. So, lastly, two-part question: who has inspired you since you've started to keep going? And then also, where can our viewers find you on social media if they want to get in contact with Rachel Klewicki?
Oh man, who has inspired me? That's such a hard
This
one.
might be a crier right here, y'all. So y'all tuning in, this might be it. I might have got her on this one.
I mean, absolutely. Tanner and Kelly at Wild Horses. I mentioned their running script. They're constantly an inspiration. My fellow actors, Lily Goytevich, Liz Hackworth, Tasia Alexandria, she helped direct on my film. During running, we all started doing these rehearsals together just at the library, and kind of just continued it on into this weird acting group troupe thing where we practice once a week. And just doing the daily grind has been so inspiring to me, and seeing other people do the boring daily things that it takes to be in the entertainment industry in general.
Yeah.
That's definitely kept me going. And then the number one community I would say is the acting class.
Yeah.
We've been together for maybe 6 years now, something like that. Even though I've moved here, we've been able to still meet on Zoom.
Yeah.
And they're just ride or die. Like the first time we tried to shoot a scene for my reel, like the whole class came and helped. And
the beautiful.
One of the actors is gonna come fly out and be in my movie. Just whatever you need. Like you need someone to read with you on a Tuesday afternoon because you have an audition. Like people will just drop what they're doing, and well, maybe not drop what they're doing, but if they're around, people will just totally volunteer. And I don't know what to quantify that as. Just like the love that people have.
That's love. And support, love.
These communities for each other. It makes it worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's what we all need in whatever craft or whatever endeavor we're trying to accomplish. Like, we need that village. I still call it a village. People say, they don't use that word as much, but when you got like you said, the acting class and your Facebook groups and stuff like that, that's empowering. Like everybody needs that. So that's dope.
On any given day, I could wake up and just be like, why am I doing this? Why am I still doing this? And then, acting class comes around or group comes around, and you go and just practice the exercises with your peers. And it's like, oh, damn it, that's why.
Right.
That's why I get to access the truth of myself with other people, and there's nothing else like that for me.
Yeah, well, and you build those relationships that are very important in life. People that I've met 25 years ago, I can still call them up when I need them, because like you said, we've all had that one day where we said, why am I still doing this? So yeah, that's powerful. And then lastly, like we asked, where can they find Rachel? And if somebody want to join one of the groups or want to be in one of your movies, or
want
to cry for you?
I am most active on Instagram, Rachel Klewicki Film. Thankfully, my name is spelled here in the titles on your podcast, so that'll be an easy spell for people. I'm also on Facebook, so those are the main ones. I also have a lot of my materials on my website at rachelklewicki.com. If you want to see my reel or my headshots or whatever. And I guess just through the agencies Moxie Talent in Kansas City and Linda Lehman Agency in Oklahoma.
Wow. And Moxie, I didn't know about Moxie until I actually started following you. And then I found out how big Moxie really is and how much stuff they do. And I was amazed. I was very impressed. So
they're fabulous. They're absolute rock stars there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then a bonus question would be, going into next year, what is in store for Rachel?
Next year will primarily be post-production on Living the Dream. And we have a college rom-com on the slate for the spring called Get On With It, which our little group, Tanner and Lily and I, and a couple of recent college grads to give that authentic college feel, Imran Bungish and Alexander Fortune, we all collaborated on a script that we're hopefully gonna finally be able to shoot this spring. So that'll be a really fun one. It's a comedy. It's lighthearted.
See, those type of movies I like. So you gotta keep me posted on that. I'm for those all day long. Yes.
Absolutely. That at the end of the day of a stressful day, I just want to like laugh and have a happy ending. Not that kind of happy ending. Just watch it.
We got us a comedian, y'all. She didn't tell us about the comedian part, but it's always one that
Sagittarius foot and mouth syndrome. I just want to have a happy, fluffy movie after some stress. Although living the dream is not that.
Right.
That'll be a different kind of thing. Okay. But yeah, it's just super excited about those ones.
Yeah. Well, we're excited. Like I said, I want to thank you again for giving me this opportunity to interview you tonight, Rachel.
Thank you. I'm very pleased you have this Women in Entertainment series. Kind of goes with the theme of living the dream, which is kind of examining the woman's role in media and in society. So nice little parallel for me. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. And just let you know, and the viewers, this will be rebroadcasted on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn. So if y'all didn't catch it live, y'all will be able to catch it. Just type in Welcome to Squirrel Town Talk, and it'll pop up all the videos. And the most current video, of course, will be today's or tonight's. So yeah, Rachel, I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to all the new movies and some of the older ones that I haven't seen. So I'll most definitely be checking those out. Make sure you keep me posted.
Thank you. Yeah, we've done a lot this year, so there should be some premieres coming in spring.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Oh, microphone. Fingers crossed. So yeah, well, thanks again, Rachel. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody who tuned in tonight. We appreciate it. Continue to tune in for the series Women in Entertainment. I am going to be doing, and luckily Rachel kind of got a little bit of this going on too, but in the future I'm going to be doing Women in Comedy. So I might have to bring her back on since she's a comedian. Nice. All of a sudden. You have to bring her back on. Yeah, thanks again. Thanks for doing everything you do, inspiring others by what you do. And we will talk next time. All right?
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
All right, you too. Thanks again for everybody that tuned in. We'll holla. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Like a lonely road when you're all alone. Just stay focused, stay in your zone, gotta keep control. You can't love nobody else if you can't love yourself. To change our future, be willing, first we must change ourselves. I'm on a positive vibe. I got a positive vibe. Keep a positive vibe.